Previously on Bollocks.
Bollocks. Brandon, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Brandon from Top Odds. Let's go to Brandon. Brandon, I'm just chopping off my the beard that I grew throughout the Kaiser Chiefs unbeaten run. It lasted since November the 5th, 17 games in all competitions. And Stuart Baxter last night dropped all his three top strikers, played three centre-backs, lost to Platinum Stars. Great performance from Alan Freeze's Platinum Stars. And the PSL is wide open, I think. I've had a big argument this morning. The point is, Brandon, if Kaiser Chiefs lose the Soweto derby on Saturday to Orlando Pirates, who won last night under their new coach VV, and Bidvest Wits, my picks at the start of the season under Gavin Hunt, if they were to beat Free State Stars later that night, Wits will then be within 3 points of Kaiser Chiefs with a game in hand. I think the PSL is wide open. What do you think as a betting man?
most definitely. I think we spoke about it last week. That Chiefs might just start to drop a little bit of points, and we've seen it. But Pirates were also very good last night. I know their goalkeeper was outstanding. He kept them in the game.
Yep.
And geez, my money was on the Pirates last night. I nearly fell on Chiefs, and then I saw the starting lineup and changed my mind.
That's it. That's exactly the point. I predicted it. Yeah, I predicted a 2-1 win for Chiefs based on the fact that Knowledge Masona scored a sensational hat trick. I was the only one to find the video, I think, in the whole of the country to find a video of Knowledge Masona's hat trick in Maputo in the African Champions League. And then what does he do? Knowledge on the bench. Parker not even in the side because he's a booking short of a suspension before the Soweto derby. Kingston and Carter, the third striker, also not in. And Killer and Perla played. I don't think he played very well. I think he's a bit rusty. So what do you think of Pirates?
They won ugly. That's the bottom line. That is what Baxter's been professing to do. I mean, the goalkeeper was outstanding, like I've said before. And I thought they were a good bet to win last night, although Swallows were a little bit unlucky. But like I said, that team selection of Chiefs really, it saved me money at the end of the day because I thought they'd win that game until I saw the team sheet.
Yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely right. Do you have any odds, or would you suggest that people should bet on any particular side at the top of the PSL? As we come into these kind of crunch games.
I think I would wait to see what happens in the Soweto derby. I think that's a massive game for the season. If Pirates can win there, then I would say the PSL is wide open. But if you can go, and he started a decent lineup and they won ugly, then they might just secure themselves at the top just a little bit. But I think it's a massive game, the Soweto derby, and I don't know if I'll be throwing money either way because on both performances last night, it's going to be a close game. Yeah.
And of course, 90,000 people. What a showpiece for South Africa. I mean, we talk about rugby and we talk about cricket, but on Saturday, as far as I can tell, the biggest crowd in the world for any sporting event could well occur at Soccer City, and no segregation of fans. This wonderful kind of Chiefs and Pirates fans all mixed in together, just outside Soweto. A magnificent occasion for South Africa. But you're saying you wouldn't throw money either way in the Soweto derby. You're one of those. You're like me. I mean, I don't know what to do now. I had Kaiser Chiefs clear winners until last night. I'm now worried. Although I suppose Knowledge and Carter got a bit of a rest and Parker got a full game's rest. He throws them all back in the side, bangs them all up front and runs away with it.
Yeah, there's only one explanation that I can think of, and that is that he had the Soweto derby at the back of his mind. When selecting that team, I don't know how tired they may have been. I know they're involved in the Champions League. But maybe, just in the back of Baxter's mind at the moment, he's saying that the league depends on the Soweto derby. And I don't think he's far wrong. I think if Pirates can go there and win, then gee whiz, there are going to be fireworks in the next couple of weeks in that league because it blows a few teams into it. Sundowns become, then challengers, and so do Pirates. And I mean, geez, it can be a close finish and a close finish that we haven't had in quite a while in the PSL. Yeah.
Well, I think actually one thing you must say about the PSL, I mean, we always talk about being the richest league in Africa, but not necessarily the best. The one thing you will say is that, Chiefs by 1 point last season, the year before Pirates on the last day of the season, the year before that, the Ruud Krol year, also that was quite close. Whereas you look at the Bundesliga I pity the bookmakers in the Bundesliga, Bloody hell. What are Bayern now? 16 matches, record 16 matches, 16 wins, and about 19 points clear last I looked. It's quite frightening. And, of course, Real Madrid starting to pull away in the La Liga. Chelsea 7 points clear in England's Premier League. So we've got the tightest of the leagues that we talk about here, that's for sure.
No, that's for sure. And, you know, I've got the sneaky feeling for Pirates. The reason I say that, I know I've been pitching Sundowns, and they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but new coach, new philosophy, and maybe that's what a side like Pirates needed. You know, I'm not saying that Roger Desai did a bad job. I think he did a very good job. But, you know, it can always have a shake-up. You know, you shake up that side coming into the run in the end of the season, and they look a little bit fresher and a little bit better than the rest. And you know, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in the Soweto derby. I'll definitely be having my money on one of the sides in running. I'll watch the Top Odds front page and just see where it goes, because a draw's not out of it. It's always a fact in the PSL games. But you know, it's such a big game. I can't see both sides not scoring.
Yeah. No, I'd hate to see a little draw in that. It would be such a disappointment, I think. Coming on top of last night, where I thought that the Chiefs Platinum Stars game was a top quality game of football, and chances at both ends, 2-0 to Platinum Stars. And then the Pirates game, obviously, Comfort, you mostly watched the Pirates game, very, very wet, wasn't it, and soggy, as it has been in Gauteng. And
all the rain is really dampening all the field. It's not great watching players slip all the way like that. But yeah, what can we say? It's nature.
It's nature, Comfort. Brandon, can I drag you away from the PSL and from the Soweto derby on Saturday, which will be a magnificent occasion, and drag you to Super Sunday in England, where Sunday sees Man United Liverpool, absolute cracker, 3:30 South African time, and Spurs Arsenal at 6 o'clock South African time. Any tips for us on those two?
I mean, I was looking at a game like Man City and Hull. I mean, Man City 11-20 away from home, just under 60-10 with both bookmakers, they'll win. But obviously the game of the weekend's Man United-Liverpool. And as a Manchester United fan, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. Although their performance against West Brom was much, much better, I don't know if as a United supporter we've used the term better in the last 2 years. It's been great and good and amazing, but this is going to be a test for Moyes. I think Brendan Rodgers, will look at this game and say, "Gee, was the way Man United have been playing, I've got to go there and get the 3 points." And your mid-table manager, your mid-tier manager, I think his side will be in the top 4 this year, and I think they'll be that comfortable. I think David Moyes is the mid-tier manager at the moment, and he's the guy that came with all the promise, and he's the chosen one. And I think Manchester United have a problem in defence. We know they do. I mean, I don't know how Vidic can still be club captain, and he's already signed. He's already
left. Yeah. In all but physicality, he's left. His soul has left the building. And I like Vidic. I think Vidic is the best of them in that defence, with Smalling and bloody Ferdinand, and they're all getting on a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you say, would Ferguson have ever allowed a player to leave, to have signed for somewhere else and start for Manchester United? I don't think so. But I think he's got such a problem in that back four, David Moyes, at the moment, that he has no option. I think he has to play Vidic, and I think he has to play Ferdinand, not because Ferdinand's as good as anybody else, just because it's all that Manchester United have known over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
If you want to have a look at the betting, Man United 29-20 with Allen Bookmaker, 16-10 with World Sports Betting. And Liverpool at 19-10 with both bookmakers. That's Allen Bookmaker and World Sports Betting. You look at this fixture before, Manchester United at home would be, certainly favourites to win the game. And at the moment, the betting's telling you that Liverpool could get something, and the draw at 22-10 might not be a bad thing. But, I don't see Manchester United coming back if they go down in the game. And the way Liverpool have started in most of their fixtures, so they go 1-0 up within the first 30 seconds. So it's going to be very interesting. And as long as Suarez doesn't bite Evra, Liverpool might just win the game.
As long as Suarez doesn't bite Evra, I'd go Liverpool. Yeah, you'd go Liverpool.
I would, and that's a Manchester United fan. I just don't think. although they were much better against West Brom, but how good are West Brom in the Pepe Mel? That's the question that we need to ask. And I thought Liverpool would start to hit a lull a few games back, and they just haven't. They just keep winning, and it's going to be very, very interesting. And I'd have to be with Liverpool in that fixture.
Yeah, got it. Okay, Brandon, is there one little bet you'd pick out in your Super Rugby? I know you like your Super Rugby. Is there a Super Rugby bet you'd take?
Oh, geez, the Super Rugby's been so unpredictable lately. The game that I want to look at just before we turn to rugby, Neil, that's definitely got to be Tottenham Arsenal.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why that wasn't at the top of your list this weekend. Arsenal, very, very good performance against Bayern Munich. It was a good performance. It's just they just always leave themselves too much to do. I mean, they didn't have to lose like they lost at home. To go there and maybe only be one goal down. Oxlade-Chamberlain caused them trouble the whole evening.
Yeah, he's looking good, Ox, yeah.
The whole evening. I know that they were missing Walcott, but, geez, I was very impressed with that Arsenal performance. I thought they'd go there and they'd lose.
Yeah.
And they actually played well, and I think that's up to Wenger. You've got to give credit where it's due. He set the side up very well against Bayern Munich. I know Bayern Munich had no real cause to win the game, and that's why I say maybe if Arsenal could have got something a little better at home, it might have been a different fixture. Or if their first game was at Bayern Munich, to come home now and play having their away goal, it might have been a different story.
Yeah.
And you look at this Tottenham side, and I don't know how good they are. I know they've done a lot to discount AVB and what he did. I don't think he was a bad manager. I don't think Tim Sherwood's a great manager. I think that's just the nature of the club at Tottenham, and he'll go in January. And they'll find somebody else, preferably someone who doesn't speak English, and will need to get an interpreter.
I actually thought that Tim Sherwood, who was an Arsenal fan when he was a kid, now the Spurs coach, played well for Spurs in his time. I thought he gave 2 or 3 brilliant interviews this week. One after the game where they lost to Chelsea, describing his players as gutless and devoid of characters. And then last night he was saying that tonight they play in the Europa League against Benfica, and then on Sunday they've got Arsenal. He's saying this is where you play for your futures. This is where you find out if you're a Spurs player or not. And I quite like the way he's approached that.
Yeah, I think he's made one good move as a manager, and I don't think it was a masterstroke. He played Adebayor.
Yeah, exactly.
AVB's left him on the bench for so long.
Well, that's why everyone's slagging off AVB, isn't it? But why didn't he play Adebayor? Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, but that also shows you. It shows you, the type of club that Tottenham are. I mean, the guy doesn't play one player, and they don't get a result that they like, and he goes. So, yeah, that's just the nature of Tottenham. And I think Arsenal are a good bet. I think they'll beat Tottenham. I know Tottenham are at home. But that performance against Bayern Munich just lifted my spirits with regards to that Arsenal performance.
Well, you're talking. It's music to my ears. Yeah, let's back Arsenal against Spurs. Let's back Liverpool against Man United. Not really music to your ears. And the Soweto derby, we're not sure, and that's understandable after last night's results. Brandon from Top Odds Compare, thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk more about the Soweto derby and what's happening in England after the music.
Balls.co.za. Visual Radio.